What's up guys, it's Rob's the FBL and welcome to Game Week 8 team selection. Heading straight into the recap of what happened in Game Week 7, and all in all, it was a really good weekend. I got 54 points in total, giving me a Game Week rank in 650,000. If you look at it all in all, I went up from around 680,000 to now my overall rank being 430,000. So yes, it was a really good weekend. Generally 54 points isn't that good, but everyone all over the board struggled. There were some notable big hitters and a lot of absences that caused people's points to really suffer. As you can see, the average points was only 38. So I'm really happy with that point total and another green arrow for this week. If you look at my team selection for last week, I'm really pleased. The selection in defense, double up of Brighton and having Arsenal both playing against each other paid off big, as they kept a clean sheet and it was a stale 0-0 draw. I basically predicted it. Arsenal have been on a really good run of form defensively lately. 3 out of their last 4 games have been clean sheets. And if you look at the Spurs game, it was basically a lucky breakaway counter-attacking goal for Son. So all in all, their last 4 games, they've looked really solid in defense. And I called it. I knew that Arsenal's defense would turn around, and they notably are a good defensive team. They had early struggles early on in the season, but at the end of the day, it was against the likes of Chelsea and Man City. Brentford shouldn't have happened, but Chelsea and Man City, you can forgive them. The 4 next games, defensively really solid. Still have their offensive problems, but defensively, Arsenal are really solid. And the surprise package for most this season so far is Brighton, and the double up in defense have been paying big. I brought in Chelsea's Rudiger, and yes, against Southampton I expected him to have a clean sheet, but unfortunately that didn't come off. And for him, it was more the pick for the long-term fixture run that Chelsea have. Unfortunately, during the international break, that's my luck, now he's got a back injury. So I'm still very concerned to see how serious that injury is going to be. Is it a 1-week injury and he'll be back for Norwich? If that is the case, then there's no point rushing it. But if he's going to be out for about 3 weeks, then a person really can't have a marquee defender not playing for so long. So I could really easily, possibly, move sideways to someone like Azpilicueta, or maybe to someone like Cancelo at Man City. Both of them have had really good defenses so far this season. Semedo, there's not much to talk about in that regard. On the eye test, he looks really good, but so far, it's not come off yet. The reason he's in my team has been for the fixture run prior, and the fixture run going all the way up until the end of Game Week 14. So far, I'm really happy with defense. Salah paying big, but notably, again, Cristiano Ronaldo captaincy blanking. That's really a struggling point for me. For instance, if I had Salah as my captain, the swing of points would have pushed me probably closer towards the 300,000 overall mark. So it's not great news for back-to-back blank weekends for Ronaldo. And even against West Ham, 6 points, it's good, you take it, but it's not the 13 points that he got in the previous week, and it's not the 13 points that Salah has been getting consistently almost. 12, 7, 13, 17 and a 10. Salah has been Mr. Consistent so far this season. Jimenez paying off big. Back-to-back games of really good point returns. Yes, he didn't score, but 2 assists, you can only be happy. Everyone was worried. 5 games without any output. I brought him in because I saw how well he's playing and how the fixture turn, similar to Semedo, same team obviously, how the fixture turn is really good. If you look at the ICT ranks, these stats have been there from the whole way, in Game Week 5 even. No goal, no assist, but his creativity and his threat level has been there the whole time. And now it's starting to show with a goal and 2 assists in the last 2 games. Antonio doing his thing, I back him. Scored against Leeds, didn't score against Brentford. But if you look at their fixture run, it's not the end of the world and he's on really hot form at the moment. So he's a really good player and I'm quite happy all in all with my Game Week 7 results. But as you can see, there's a couple of red arrows, a couple of red markers. Rudiger and Torres are out and Rafinha is possibly out. So based on that, let's go look at what possible transfers we're going to make going into Game Week 8. Looking at this, I've got 1 free transfer and still 3.7 million in the bank. That coming from moving out Trent to go to Rudiger. Looking at it now with Trent coming back and Rudiger being injured, it doesn't look like the smartest decision. But hindsight's 2020, on paper, at that moment Rudiger's fixtures looked good and Trent looked injured. We weren't sure how long it was going to be out for. So for this very moment, only having one transfer out, based on the fixtures of Chelsea, I'm not going to rush the move to take out Antonio Rudiger. And when I get to my team selection, I'll show you why. A big loss for me is Ferran Torres. Scored 2 goals in international duty and he looked really good. So I was hoping that he'd get back to starting again. Sterling hasn't looked too good. And to be fair, Grealish hasn't looked too good either. So I really had high hopes going into this small little good fixture run for City, that based on his brilliant form in international break, that he could possibly start against Burnley, going on to Brighton and Crystal Palace. But unfortunately, he's got an injury and has been confirmed to be out for about 3 months. So that's an instant replacement that needs to be done. Rafinha is another possible player not starting, but he scored 2 goals in international duty just 2 days ago. So he's in red hot form, but will he have enough time to rest? So that's why there's still a doubt. But I'm definitely not going to replace him out of my team, but he's not injured and his fixture run is absolutely brilliant. So let's bring in Phil Foden. Like for like replacement, and Foden looked really, really sharp against Liverpool. Should have arguably scored more than the 1 goal that he did. He looked absolutely great. And this fixture run going through for Man City, if he's nailed down, especially with the form of Sterling not being that good, the likes of Torres now being injured, the likes of Jesus missing due to international duty, it makes Phil Foden more fixture proof in a sense. Knowing Pep, there is no fixture proof for absolutely anybody. But Phil Foden, back-to-back starts, again, very big games, and he looked absolutely great in both of them. Didn't do anything notable against Chelsea because it was a much more stale game, but he looked quality. It's going to be interesting, and I'm backing him for this fixture run where Phil Foden and De Bruyne are going to be the leading lights for Man City pushing forward. They are the actual people making a real impact. Grealish will do good, but I feel like Grealish will only do good if the whole team does good. The likes of Phil Foden and De Bruyne are game changers that on their own can take the game on the scruff of the neck and change the game and impact it and cause goals and assists by individual brilliance. Mahrez is also borderline on the similar type of player, but I feel like the rest of the team is very much, they will play good if Phil Foden and De Bruyne plays good. So there's maybe a slight over-reliance at the moment for Man City, not having that number 9 that can get the crucial goals. They're relying on the creative players to pull off individual magic to create goals. So there's still more to be seen from the likes of Grealish, and I think he will come good in time. Sterling's form has been a bit worrying. Mahrez hasn't played as often, but I still believe fully in Mahrez's quality. And don't forget, City's doing really, really well. Everyone almost started writing them off after this first game of the season, lost to Tottenham. Goals has dried up over that period of a year. But all in all, it's a very attacking team. City's always an attacking team that scores a lot of goals. So at this very moment, I'm only going to make that one transfer for now. I could always come back and take a hit if I want to. But let's head straight into the team for this week. So if we look at the team for this week, Phil Foden in there. The reason I don't think I need to take a hit is because my team looks really settled, even with Rudiger on the bench. Going through goalkeeper, Renato Sanchez against Norwich, doubling up with Shane Duffy, looks really, really good. Brighton's defense have been so solid. Norwich have struggled in front of goal, so I feel like that's a defensive lineup of note for this week. I mentioned before earlier how impressive Arsenal's defense has been, and against Crystal Palace, it looks set to continue the same way. Semedo against Aston Villa. Aston Villa has been difficult to judge how good they are, similar to Wolves. Very much a tight game, I'm assuming. Could very well be a 2-2 game, but it could hopefully, Wolves can put it off and Semedo can also get a clean sheet. All in all, none of the fixtures of my defenders worry me. Heading into midfield, this is my midfield. Mo Salah, Foden. Sticking with Rafinha, but I'll get back to that in a second. And Ismail Sarr. Ismail Sarr against Liverpool is not ideal, but based on Liverpool conceding 3 goals against Brentford, and also conceding 2 goals against City, their defense has looked a little bit vulnerable in the last 2 weeks. So let's hope that Ismail Sarr, who has terrorized Liverpool in the past and scored against them in the past, can do it again. So that's why he gets the nod in midfield. Going on to the forward line, Antonio, Jimenez and Ronaldo. against Antonio against Everton, Jimenez against Villa, and Ronaldo against Leicester. Not too much to be said, and not big fixture worries. The reason why Ronaldo won't be captain is due to back-to-back blanks, and I've lost faith in the short term in Man United's ability to create goals. Ronaldo is at that age now where he's not going to create goals for himself as much. He needs the service. He will finish, and he's world-class poacher, but he's not going to create goals like he used to. He's not going to receive the ball, drill past 4 people, and score a banger. He can still score bangers, but it'll be a one-touch and finish, or a header. He needs the service, and I feel like Man United have lacked in that department. Captaincy picks for this week. Mo Salah, I think, is basically nailed down. There's a slight tingling in me. Foden against Burnley could be really good, but based on Salah's consistent returns, I don't want to take the risk, and I don't want to get a blank for a captain because of an ill-placed decision. Foden could be exciting. It could be a differential pick as a captain, but Salah is the safer pick, and he's been so consistent. So that will be my team for this week. And getting back to Rafinha, as I mentioned earlier, yes, he's got a yellow flag, 75% chance of not playing. Bielsa said, depending on how much minutes he gets, and if there's any doubt of his fatigue level, he won't play. He did play 70 minutes 2 days ago, but he came off in the 70th minute after scoring 2 goals. So his form is really good. So let's hope that over those 36-hour period, he's reacted really well and recovered really well. Because I believe if Rafinha starts the game for Leeds, they're very likely to score a goal, which means that Livramento won't keep a clean sheet. However, if Rafinha doesn't start the game, Leeds are without Rafinha and they're without Bamford, their main attacking threats. Then all of a sudden, the chance of Leeds scoring a goal decreases exponentially, and therefore Livramento could keep a clean sheet. So having Livramento as my number 1 option on the bench to straight away move in to Rafinha is a really good option. I don't believe there's a chance of Rafinha sitting on the bench and then coming on. I believe he's going to start or he's not going to play at all. If there's a worry about his fatigue, they will rest him completely. If there's not a worry about his fatigue, he's so crucial to them, he should start. I could be wrong, but that's just how I interpret it. All in all, I'm really excited, and I believe that this is going to be a really good weekend too. I don't see any very big fixtures. Only big fixtures probably Saul versus Liverpool, which you ideally wouldn't want, but he's done good in the past, so I'm keeping faith with him. And someone that can be a real big differential pick, as I mentioned, Phil Foden. Only owned by 3.8% of the league. If he can come off against Burnley and score 2 goals, that could be a very big changer. But unfortunately, with Pep Roulette, that's not a big enough certainty for me to put the captaincy armband on him. I'll rather stick with Mr. Consistent Salah, who's likely to pick up a goal or an assist in general. And he has done. He scored in every single game except against Burnley. So maybe that is also a note to take in for Foden. Don't write off Burnley so quickly. But otherwise, 6 goals and 4 assists in 7 games. That's 10 goal involvements in 7 games. You can't take him out of it. And against Watford away, Watford aren't the best defensive team, so you have to give him the captaincy. All in all, I'm really happy with the team. I'm really excited, and this is going to be a good weekend. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy it. Enjoy the footy, and let's see what happens. Take care, and have a blessed time.